candy canes. Another day. I just wanted to say, don't never be the one that a motherfucker gotta get away from. You always be the one that got away. You know? A lot of people, you know, they can't be themselves. Well, they ain't themselves when they're around other people, but they don't like themselves. People who can't sit still and stay in one spot are people who just don't like themselves like that. So they use others and other people to distract them. It's cool. You ain't got to be, I don't know, wrong with shit like me. I always been like this. Oh, I got toothpaste on my coat. You ain't got to be on no wrong with shit like me. But at the same time, people will be mad at you because they see the fruit that's growing on your tree, not knowing that it came because you're able to protect yourself better than others. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people feel like it's a weakness to have emotions or a weakness to be there for people. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't nobody want to do that. So when you able to be an empath, yes, it has its downsides because you start feeling like people taking you for granted or people playing in your face. But the rewards that you get is just crazy. You know what I'm saying? I had to find real self-love, real self-reliance, not for views. I had to find that shit in real life. You know what I'm saying? Not a wig and some makeup and say, oh, I've changed. Nah, bitch. You know, you got to look at it like, you know what? Everybody is going to always end up alone. And that's kind of like what I'm talking about in my son's book. Like, he had to come up with a 10-page book that goes by chapters. Not 10 chapters, but it got to be 10 pages. But the book has to be separated in chapters. And in the book, I'm just teaching kids how to deal with big emotions and big feelings, because everybody not going to want to color with you. Everybody not going to want to kick with you. And then sometimes people kick with you and still snake you. So what you going to do? You know what I'm saying? You grow up with your mama and daddy. Then you start getting older and meeting people. Okay, so are you going to live for the validation of other people, or you going to do you and find peace in your solitude? If you can't be alone, that's a problem. One of the most dangerous people in jail, and before I say this, it's just way too many women who needy as fuck, so motherfuckers wouldn't even understand what the fuck I'm finna say. You learn to rely on yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a person who's afraid to ask for help if I feel that safety net within the situation. But you always rely on yourself. I'm not just talking about money. You know what I'm saying? So many people go there first. No, I'm talking about being dependent on yourself. So many people are so needy that they couldn't even dream about leaving the person that they with. It's not because of love. It's not. You need to think to yourself, if I cannot spend time with myself, I do not like myself. And I need another person to tell me how much they like me. Keep it a bug. But don't say it's for love. You know, it's like many men. You know, how so many people out to get you type shit. Like, you gotta let that shit motivate you. You know what I'm saying? Of course, move smart and don't be telling everybody your motherfucking business. Always tell them something so they feel like they know something but really don't know shit. But I say this all to say, guys, just how I said in my son's book, just like a train starts off by itself, after that train starts off, then you see the other trains start to follow. But once it's time to drop motherfuckers off at home, ain't nobody on that bitch but you. So you're gonna end up alone. Learn how to do it and have a strength behind it. Show people that you're able to survive in a drought, an island. You hear me? Liberating fear, because people are fickle. You know what I'm saying? They could be cool with you one day and may not be cool with you the other day. Why? Because God don't want you to connect to them. But it's such a liberating, strong feeling behind that fear when you spent so much time alone to develop your own self, to develop your own mind. So many times when we get around other people, we get further away from ourselves. People are really not themselves when they're around people. Sometimes you can get around a group and be more anxious to make horrible decisions. You know? Are the people who don't mind to go to solitary confinement. I know I'd be one of them motherfuckers. Don't mind being alone. And see, some people fear that because they will literally lose their mind. So when you develop a skill that shows people that you can survive in any environment and adapt to any environment, you are showing a tool that is useful in this world today. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, they only pick people for one reason. It's only one aspect. So when shit started going downhill and you wondering why that shit not working, it's because you only with somebody for one aspect. There's so many different parts of people. That's why you got to get to know people. You know, stop doing this Instagram shit. You know, like instead of being mad about something not working out, about people snaking you, about you talking crazy to people, about people talking crazy to you, you start to think, wow, I have a lot of power. Look at how far I became. Do you know how many people are still stuck on the, how could you do this to me? And woo, 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 not realizing that that's the best thing that ever happened to you. Yes, it hurt. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it hurt, you know? But, there's always a but. I had poor boundaries. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn more self-love, you know? So, you know, like people love to throw the baby mama word around when really it's a skill to be self-reliant. You know what I'm saying? And everybody didn't get left. Some people left for their sanity and to show their kids to stand for something. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a skill for the woman to be able to still take care of the child if the husband is at work or if he died or anything like that, God forbid. She's able to take up the child and keep passing on his genes. That makes you attractive. That makes you valuable. Being so dependent on other people, you know, you will eventually lose opportunities. And when you just surrender, you realize that, wow, I was just holding on to fear of not being alone. When you was really alone the whole time. You didn't lose a friend. You lost somebody who you thought was a friend. You know what I'm saying? And see, if you don't learn how to be self-reliant, you can lose your fucking mind. Yeah. And this will allow people to control you to the point that you'll never be able to see who they truly are because they're always controlling you. You know. And I'll leave you with this. It's important to be alone because sometimes, you know, because you have to be aware of your odor. So many people not aware of their odor. You know how you smell something and you can't tell what the fuck it is? And you trying to figure that shit out? That's how you are when you're around other people. Like, I'm disgusted by people who not self-aware. I feel like it's almost... Now, we all got something to work on, but I feel like it's dangerous to be around people like that. Because you aren't aware of your defensiveness. You aren't aware of your bitterness. You aren't aware of you putting other people under the bus, throwing people under the bus. You feel me? Like, I can't fuck with people who don't know how to be solid. Because I'm going to teach you how to be solid. I'm the motherfucker that don't care about going to solitary confinement. God forbid. But if that was my situation, I wouldn't run away from a fight because I have to be away. It is a liberating fear because people are fickle. You know what I'm saying? They could be cool with you one day and it may not be cool with you the other day. Why? Because God don't want you to connect to them. But it's such a liberating, strong feeling behind that fear when you spent so much time alone to develop your own self, to develop your own mind. So many times when we get around other people, we get further away from ourselves. People are really not themselves when they're around people. Sometimes you can get around a group and be more anxious to make horrible decisions. You know? You need to think to yourself, if I cannot spend time with myself, I do not like myself. And I need another person to tell me how much they like me. Keep it a bug. But don't say it's for love. It is a liberating fear because people are fickle. You know what I'm saying? They could be cool with you one day and it may not be cool with you the other day. Why? Because God don't want you to connect to them. But it's such a liberating, strong feeling behind that fear when you spent so much time alone to develop your own self, to develop your own mind. So many times when we get around other people, we get further away from ourselves. People are really not themselves when they're around people. Sometimes you can get around a group and be more anxious to make horrible decisions. You know? You need to think to yourself, if I cannot spend time with myself, I do not like myself. And I need another person to tell me how much they like me. Keep it a bug. But don't say it's for love.